I remember all the girls surrounded me in a circle, and then they all looked towards me saying, Baba, is it true you've done all of us? I look around, I realize that I did the devil's tango with all these girls already back in my past, and some of them recently. And I look at all of them and say, well, I mean, yeah, I've basically done everyone in this room. And instead of getting upset, they ended up going on their knees, and they started bowing down to me as if I was their cult leader. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another insane but crazy story. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say, no one should do anything I say in these stories. Trust me, these stories are not for me to flex that I have a high body count. They're not for me to flex that I am, you know, better than anyone. They are here just to make sure you guys understand not to do the things I do growing up. But I remember back when I was in high school, this was my final year of high school. This was my grade 12 year. And I remember in my grade 12 year, I was really focused and, you know, basically graduating. But other than graduation, another thing I was majorly focused on was, I guess, being remembered. I don't know if that sounds weird or not, but a lot of grade 12s tend to go through this where they want to be remembered for something as they're graduating high school. Like, I know some of my friends were known for having the nicest car. Some of them were known for being the best basketball player. And some of them are just known for being the most hottest and prettiest girls at school. Even though they probably don't matter anymore because, well, they can't be popular in school because we're not in school anymore. But I remember basically in my grade 12 year, there was a time where I was walking down the school hallway and I actually ran into this girl. Now, this girl was new to our school, but she ended up making friends really fast. And she started this little like team or group, I would say, that were just full of girls. And it was kind of like the all girls team that everyone called it. And no one thought much of it. But I remember when I started talking to this girl in the hallway, I said to her, hey, like, how's it going? Oh, you're Bubba, right? Yeah, wait, how do you know who I am? Oh, well, like, some of the girls in my team, like, have talked about you before. I kind of just know who you are. Oh, that's cool. Well, yeah, like, what's going on? I don't know. I thought you were cute, so I thought I should walk by. In a way, I started to spit some riz, and out of nowhere, I remember she ends up saying to me, wait, Bubba, I have a question. Yeah, what's up? So, like, from all the girls you've done, how many of them you actually dated? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't date a lot of the girls that I, you know, did the devil's tango with, so I kind of just ended up kind of like pretending that like, oh, like I was trying to get into a relationship, but it just didn't work out because something came up, when in reality that wasn't the case. But you know, I was just trying to make it seem like I'm not just there to, you know, do the devil's tango and leave. So I remember as I explained that to her somewhat in a really weird way, she looks at me and says, oh, okay, well, I mean, I don't know, like that's cool, I guess. And me and her, we ended up exchanging social medias, and that's when me and her became, I guess, you know, good friends. We started talking on the phone a lot, we started messaging a lot more online, but then came a really weird day where I remember one day I was just, you know, walking out of my science class since I just finished science, and out of nowhere I ended up seeing one of the girls from my past that I did back in like grade 10 walk up to me and say, Bubba, are you talking to this girl? She ends up showing me a photo of her friend that I talked to literally the other day and exchanged social medias with, and I said, oh yeah, like I know her, she's pretty hot. I don't know, me and her just kind of recently started messaging each other. Why? Bubba, what is it with you and doing all my friends? Wait, what do you mean? Bubba, seriously, like you won't get away with this. And then she ended up walking away. Now, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I actually did something wrong or not, but it was pretty obvious to me that this girl was making things way too over dramatic. Like, bro, what happens in the past stays in the past, or at least so I thought. Because I remember I ended up texting the girl that she was friends with that I originally, you know, wanted to hang out with and, you know, I guess talk to and flirt with. Basically what just happened. And I started texting her saying like, oh, like, are you telling people that we're messaging and stuff? And then she ends up saying, oh, well, I only told like my team. Your team? Yeah, you know, like just the team. What, like the cheer team, the volleyball team? There's a lot of different teams out here. Oh, no, it's just like my little group. Your little group? At this moment, I didn't really understand what she was trying to tell me or what she was talking about in any way, shape, or form. But to be honest, I kind of just ended up leaving it aside and just thinking, you know what? It's just some basic girl gossip, nothing that won't just blow over eventually. And not to mention the girl that I was talking to didn't seem to care that like, you know, people from my past are all of a sudden appearing, so everything's gonna be okay. I remember me and this girl, I want to say like 2 days later, we ended up actually going on our first date together. And on this date, everything was going pretty good. We ended up going to get bubble tea, and then afterwards we ended up walking around the park. But when we started walking around the park, I remember out of nowhere, her phone started vibrating over and over again. Like it kept vibrating to the point where it got super annoying, and I looked at her and said, hey, are like a lot of people texting you right now? Like, is everything good? Oh, yeah, sorry, it's just the girls group chat. We're just all talking about something that's been going on in the group. I don't really know what it is. Is it about me? I remember she looks at me like the most awkward stare, and she says, not really. I mean, kind of, yeah, but like, I don't know. We're trying to like come up with this new tradition. A new tradition? Yeah, I don't know. It's just, don't worry about it. It's nothing crazy. I'll tell you if something goes on. Okay, cool. So when she said that, obviously, like, I was a bit weirded out, okay? Like, a bunch of girls in a group chat trying to figure out a new tradition. To be honest, what this started to sound like was like a cult ritual that they wanted to do, but I didn't really understand if that was really the case, because obviously, like, what? It was our last year of high school. Like, there's no way they would do anything that insane insane. Or so I thought, at least. Because another hour went on with our date, and then for some reason, I ended up seeing one of the girls from my past, and this was like back like when I was in grade 11. There was a girl that I did the Devil's Tango with, and she ended up seeing me with this girl, and she walked up to both of us saying, OMG, wait, you're hanging out with Bubba? Are you kidding me right now? We're literally all talking about this, and you're literally on a date with him? I remember I looked over at the girl I was on a date with, and she just looks at me really awkwardly, not knowing what to do, and she kind of like signals to the girl that came up to us to kind of like get away, like you're gonna ruin the entire plan, which I really had no idea if that was actually the case, but something was definitely off. It got to the point where I looked at both of them and said, okay, what is going on? Like, seriously, you guys keep talking about this dumb team. You guys keep talking as if there's something going on. Like, if you guys want to like talk to me, just talk to me about it. I remember at that moment, both girls ended up looking at me, and they looked at me saying, okay, Bubba, if that's the case, meet us tomorrow over here. And they ended up sending me a text message of a location that I haven't gone to in a very long time. And this location was basically the place where it was sort of like a sewer system, but it was like an underground tunnel that we had that was near the park that we would usually go to back when I was younger. So when I saw that, I was really weirded out, and I said, wait, you want me to go to the tunnel? And they didn't even answer. They just both ended up walking away from me. Not only did I lose my date, but on top of that, I got invited to go into a tunnel with two girls, or at least so I thought it was two girls, because I remember later that night, it was around like 9:30, okay? And I'm in my car, and I'm like, you know, on the way to this tunnel system that they want me to go to. And I remember right as I get to the tunnel, I ended up seeing one of the girls that I did way back in my past, except this was a girl from my grade 9 year. So at this point, I'm seeing girls that I did the Devil's Tango with from grade 9, grade 10, and grade 11 in a span of less than a week. And I look at her and I say, wait, what are you doing here? You're here as well? Bubba, we've been expecting you. Okay, I wasn't expecting you to be here. Wait, how many of you guys are there? You must not worry about that. Follow me, Bubba. And me, I end up following behind this girl. We end up going inside this tunnel. And honestly, at this point, I get really freaked out because I have no idea what's going on. But as I enter this tunnel, I remember I end up hearing some weird chanting from a bunch of girls further into the tunnel, all saying, Baba, Baba, Baba. And I'm freaking out because like, what is going on? Like, honestly, this seems so unbelievable to me that this was happening. But once I walked in there, I ended up seeing there was like 7 girls, all kind of like in a semicircle. And they all look at me and they're like, Baba has arrived. As if they were like hypnotized or something. And then I remember the girl that I ended up going on a date with appears out of nowhere in the middle of the semicircle. And she says to us, Baba, I have a question. Yeah, what's going on here? All the girls have been talking and they all told me that like, you've done all of us. I've done all you guys? Well, yeah, like you've done the Devil's Tango with every single one of us. At that moment, I ended up looking around the room and I realized every girl that was in that semicircle, in the tunnel, I've done the Devil's Tango with. And they all ended up becoming a cult because they were all wearing the same outfits. They were all in the same tunnel and they were all in a semicircle. It was actually so scary. And I remember I looked at all of them and I said, yo, okay, listen, I don't know what's going on. I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm just here to like, you know, just apologize about what happened in the past. And that's all. Okay. Like, can we just leave it all behind us? I remember they all ended up looking at each other and then they looked at me and then they ended up surrounding me in a full-on circle. And what did they do? Well, I thought I was gonna die. I'm gonna be honest with you, but they all ended up going on their knees, bowing down, and kept saying my name over and over again. It was like I was the cult leader of doing the Devil's Tango. And boy, was I terrified. I am not joking. This seemed like something straight out of a movie, but I'm gonna be for real. I didn't know what was going on, bro. Like, this was too good to be true. I remember as they were doing that, I ended up basically looking at all of them and I said, okay, stop. This is so weird. All of them ended up looking at me saying, why, Bubba? I thought you liked us like that. No, you guys are being weird. This was all just a mistake from the past. That's it. Just move on. I don't care about your little cult. I don't want to be a leader of any cult. You guys just leave me alone. At that moment, I ended up standing up and running away. I ran away. I ended up going inside my car and just driving straight home. But as I was on the way home, I ended up getting a text message on my phone from one of the girls. And one of the girls ended up telling me that this was a prank that they wanted to do to me since, you know, I ended up doing the entire friend group that they had, which was really dumb, by the way. So if you're watching this video, don't do that to any other guy because that's really weird. But yeah, it seemed to be that it was all just a prank. But if you guys seriously don't believe that I was actually gonna become a cult leader, then fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.